AFTN, straight ahead.
Everything was live then. We didn't have videotape recorders. So you did rehearsals, and then you went on air, and then just like we did in the States in those early years. And I was a writer-producer. Great thing for a 20-year-old. You know, I had a television crew and cameramen and sound men and directors all working for me. There was two of us that were writer, producer, directors. And basically we had different shows that we had to put together. And the Army had a lot of very talented people that would come in to get their service obligation out of the way. Then they could come in for like only 2 years. And I learned audio and sound from the head sound man for the Perry Como show from the network. And I learned some other skill from maybe a top television lighting person that had been at NBC or at CBS. So I drew like a sponge upon these professionals that had come out of the broadcasting industry that were doing their Army time, that I learned from them to add on to what we learned at the school. The schoolhouse just gives you the basics, and then you just got to get out there and learn it. AFRTS was not there yet. We weren't in Thailand officially. We were at a forward Southeast Asia location because it had not been announced that Thailand and the military was engaging operations out of that country in support of the Vietnamese War. And I didn't even really, to be honest with you, know where I was going. I had orders, and they were a classified location. And I'm a young airman, so I get my training, and I go and fire the weapon and do this stuff and get my shots and get on a plane, and over I go. And the next thing I know, I'm in Thailand, not Vietnam. I didn't know whether that was a good thing or not, but I'm over there somewhere. And then there was going to set up a network of 6 different stations. And the one that I happened to draw was in the most remote area of northwest Thailand, Nakhon Phanom Royal Thai Air Force Base, known as NKP, or as Bob Hope called it, Naked Fanny, which everybody in the country knew after he did the Bob Hope shows over there. But it was super classified, and if you look at a map, you'll see that it's right almost on the Mekong River, located horizontally above the DMZ in Vietnam. We were closer to Hanoi at NKP than the American fighting people were in South Vietnam, because we were just over the mountains from it. And that was why we were there. The aircraft from NKP interdicted the Ho Chi Minh Trail and tried to break up the weapons supply train and that kind of stuff. But the thing that was probably the most dramatic to me is the people that were our audience were those pilots and the crews and the bomb loaders and the maintenance people that kept those planes flying. The slogan that you will probably hear from any of us that have been in American Forces Radio and TV for any length of time is that basic, to provide a home away from home. And that's literally what you do. I tried to describe to you the remoteness, and here you are in a foreign land and a jungle and a country which you do not speak their language. We hadn't been there for a long time. Most countries where you go to today, no matter where you are in the world, if you've been there for a few years, the people around the base will speak English. They'll be bilingual or speak some English, can understand you. And no one spoke English. Some of them spoke French. So if you knew a little bit of high school French, you might get along. But they spoke Thai. And you either learned Thai or you couldn't communicate with them. And so we were the first ones in. So you're in an alien, foreign land with the people that appeared to be friendly, but you don't really know because you don't speak their language. They don't speak your language. So what is that thing that makes you feel comfortable? They turn on their radio and they hear the top 10, top 40 songs from the States. They hear the news. They know what's going on. We didn't have television first. We had radio only. That was my part. The first year in 66, 67, it was radio only. So everyone had a radio or they were glued to their radio. And that's how there was their touch with home. That's how they could connect. In 1942, when we started American Forces Radio and Television Service, people wanted to know the weather, wanted to know the conversion rate of U.S. dollars in foreign currency. They wanted to know what was going on in their world. We serve, of course, Thailand was a remote audience of GIs. with no families. So we had to fill a lot of gaps, take away that loneliness. But what we do most of the time is we serve military communities, and their families are over there. And they're just small, just like small town America. You've got a school, and you've got Burger King, and you've got a little league, and t-ball, and swimming pools, and golf courses, and bowling alleys, and all that stuff. And people turn on their radio or their TV to find out who won this game, or if there's going to be a power outage in the base housing tomorrow, or when the new cars are coming at the BX for the new car sales, all those kinds of things. Absentee balloting, if it's a voting year like we have this year. Same kinds of stuff that any American would need to know or want to know, we provide for them.